So we're going to do a little stretch for our back and our hips to get started. The first thing to do is just to take a step forward, and we're just going to do one of these stretches. So I just have the line up, ankle underneath your knee. And you can just take a little lean forward and put your fingertips either side of your foot there. And then lift up your chest as much as you can, and you can let your hips drop down. And then we're just going to send the hips back, and you can lift up your toes there. And then you come forward and look up. Sometimes this doesn't feel nice for some people with their knees, so if it doesn't, you just go into hands and knees position and do an arch and a round if your knee doesn't like that feeling. So it's just forward and back. When you come forward, it is really nice to sort of lift up. And Sue, since you've been stacking the wood, I think the roller class is just perfect for you tonight. I'm glad that worked out. And back. That's the way. And do one more each way, and then we'll switch. So take your time. And then you can just wriggle that foot back and put the other one forward. And hands down either side and just leaning forward. Let the hips come forward and down, and then shift your weight back. That's it. That's the way. Claudia, you can even put your hands either side of that foot. Does that work for you, if that's comfy? Yeah. You can change it, of course. Yep. Looking good. Yeah, nice extension there, Marion, lifting up your chest. That's great. You should feel really nice. And then coming back and bring that leg around. Then we just pop our roller this way, long ways on the mat, and we're going to lie down on the roller, long ways. So you want to get sitting on the very, very end. Feet fairly wide, a little bit wider than hip distance. Fingertips on the floor, and then you just have a lie down on your back. Now make sure your head's on the roller, and you can feel the roller right on the middle of your back. And just put your hands down on the floor. And there's nothing to do for the first few breaths here. Just have a nice chance to let your chest open. And you can let your arms rest on the floor. That feels really nice to feel the weight of your arms. Let your ribs settle down, the shoulders draping open. It does take a few breaths, well for me anyway, just to let myself get heavy there. And then I'll bring my hands a bit closer towards my body and reach one hand up to the ceiling, and then lift the other arm up to the ceiling. Then we go down with one arm, lift it back up, down with the other, and lift it up just to the ceiling. Go down and up. Down and up, down and up, fingers to the ceiling, palms looking in, then pause with both fingers pointing to the ceiling. You're going to take one arm over your head and then just bring it back, and then reach the other arm over your head and bring it back. What I want you to concentrate is that connection of the rib. So as you take your right arm overhead, your right rib drops down. You think of the rib dropping down towards the tummy, and then you bring up the arm again. That way you move from your shoulder joint. So just alternating side to side. See how you go breathing out when the arm goes over to help you sink the rib down. Breathe in when you come back and out as you go over. In to come back. Over and in. Last one. And then hands both down on the floor. Soften your elbows so you've got your forearm down on the floor and you feel steady. Then we're going to lift our legs. So we'll just take our time, just gently lifting one leg up into tabletop. Take your time. The first one's always the hardest. And then pop it back down. And then we lift up the other side, which actually that's probably the hardest one. So we do our easy side first and then back and down. And take a little lift and lower and lift and lower. I'm going slowly so I can go still as steady as I can. Inhale up, exhale back, inhale up, exhale back. The less you feel like you're gripping with your arms or your shoulders, the more work your abdominals will do. Just have your face looking straight up to the ceiling. Good. And then we're going to add the opposite arm if you feel like it. So we take opposite arm and leg. Then we pop it back down. And then again. I think it's so interesting, this move. You know, I've done this one for years. And sometimes I feel as steady as like I'm just laying on the floor. And other days, like I feel like I'm just going to fall straight off. It's interesting. We're just different day to day. It doesn't mean that you've regressed or anything like that. You don't have to make anything mean anything serious like that. Nice and light. And then we can also add to this if you're feeling like you're steady and you want to. We go opposite arm and leg, and then we're going to reach the arm and the leg away on the exhale. Breathe it in, come back, exhale down. So we go inhale, lift, exhale, we reach the arm, reach the leg, draw rib to hip. Inhale back, exhale down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, extend. Inhale back. Exhale down. Keep going. It's a nice little feeling of flow and steadiness. I was doing this one earlier, and when I stretched my leg out, I was getting an annoying clunk in my hip. I don't know if you've ever felt that. If you do, try not to let the leg go down as high. If you arrange it so your leg's a little bit higher reaching up, you can avoid that sometimes. And if you do tend to feel grippy in the shoulders, some of us naturally grip more there, and keep just reminding yourself to soften and let the shoulders go in between each one. So you make this your last one. And the Then what we'll do is you're just going to roll off the roller. So just roll to the side and put the roller over one side of your mat, and you just lay on your back. And we'll have our feet flat on the ground and hands on the ground as well. We're going to lift our hips up into a bridge. So tilt the pelvis and use your abdominal muscles to lift the hips up. Good, feel that rib sinking down again, this connection at the front of your body, and strength at the back. Really use your glutes, and then roll your body back down onto the floor. And then roll back up. Every time we roll up and roll down, we breathe out. And at the top and the bottom, we breathe in. See if you can move with length in your body. No need to go fast. So I feel an abdominal, sort of like a deepening, a connection, and then I push with my feet. Feel the strength at the back. So I'm maintaining this pubic bone to rib all the time. Breathe in at the top, and then it's length and softening. Really noticing your spine. After laying on the roller, there should be a really nice awareness there of how it feels on your back. On the next one, when you come up, you can also lift your arms up if you like. So you come up and your arms will point to the ceiling. Now when you come down, you're going to bring your arms with you. So as you roll down, the arms come in sequence with you all the way down. It's a nice way to connect that arm movement and the ribs staying connected into your body. So we come up and then the fingers point up. And then as you come down, the arms come with you, and it'll just help you keep those ribs in. Is that working for you? Come on up. That's it. See if you can bring your arms down at the same sort of timing as your back. That's it. That's the way. And then when you've finished that one, we're just going to hop and sit up. So you can roll over to the side, or you can hop up anywhere you like. Good. And then we'll just come around to our hands and knees. We won't be here too long. We're going to do the thread the needle exercise. So roller on one side of your mat. Line yourself up. The inside of your elbows are looking at each other. Spread out your fingers, and then just put one hand through and push the roller away. The arm that's holding me up, I'm not bending it too much, just a little bit. And I'm keeping my hips square. So I want to send my hips the same way as the roller, but I'm going to pull them back. So then I feel my upper back more, and then come back, and then you're going to lift up your arm and really push down through the arm that's on the floor. Keep going with that. If you're avoiding a twist, if you have osteoporosis and it doesn't feel right to do a twist, you can put one hand on the roller and just reach forward as your hips sink back and then come forward. So sort of still getting that hip and that shoulder stretch. That's a nice one. So we just see how you go, just keeping your head from collapsing down. So the arm that's holding you up doesn't bend too much, and really push down through that arm with strength. So you're lifted up out of that shoulder joint as you take a lift up, and then square off your hips and then back. That's it, keep going. We'll just do this last one and then we'll switch sides. Good. So good for us. That's the way. And then switch over. You know, sometimes I do this. I just noticed the way your hand is. Have a quick look. When I put my hand through, I put my palm facing back towards my hips and then I push through like that. So my thumb's pointing up to the ceiling to roll it through. So it's not really about how far you can push it. Even go a little bit less there, Susan. So when you're going through, just go less. So that means not dropping down. Sometimes we drop down and we put our head down, but this one, just see how it feels to go less. And then big lift. That's it. Really push down through that arm on the floor. That's got it. And that can be your last one. And then sit back and give your wrists a little stretch. This way. And then we put the roller on the end of the mat and we're going to lay down again. But this time we'll have our feet up there on top of the roller. So just pop the roller like this. The arch of the foot goes on the top and you lie down. So lift up your toes, stretch them wide as much as you can, and then just let them drop down. And you can do it with your fingers too. It actually sometimes helps to do fingers and toes at the same time. Toes lift, they spread out like your fingers are stretching out here, and then you're just going to soften them. So now really feel the arch of the foot right there on top of the roller. And we're going to lift into a bridge again. So tuck the pelvis and lift the hips up. Really try and activate your glutes so your hamstrings don't cramp and don't feel like they're overworking. Use your glutes. And then lay your body back and down. Okay, good. Up we come again. Tilt the pelvis down through the arch of the foot. Hips are level, glutes are working. Back down. And when you come up this time, maybe your hands come with you, just to the ceiling. Same thing, when you lay your back down, your arms will come down at the same sequence, the same timing, and there you are. Tilt the pelvis first, feel your abdominals working, and then you lift up and you feel your glutes, and then your arms will float. And then down, the arms come, keeping the ribs connected in all the way down. That's it. Just two more. You can see it. Last one. That's it. Looking great. Back down. Okay, bring the roller towards your body and we'll just pop it underneath the hips. So you want to find that sweet spot where you don't feel like the roller is going to slip away. It's really there on the back of your pelvis, back of the sacrum, hands on the roller, legs up to tabletop. Your left leg is going to straighten, point your toes up to the ceiling, and then bend it, and then the right leg, and then bend, and then the left, and bend, and right, and bend. Then the left, point it up there and hold it there. So we're going to lower the leg down, connecting our ribs and our hips inward toward our center. Lift the legs straight back up so the thighs are level. Go down again. Go up again. Keep that going. Up and down. If you're like me and it's hard to get a straight leg when you lay on your back because it's this tight feeling, it's lovely to have your hips up on the roller because you can straighten up your leg with more ease. The leg that's really still, just make sure it's in tabletop. You might need to bend the shin bones. That's it. You got it. Breathe out when you lower the legs so you can maintain that connection at the front of the body. It's really good on your abdominals. Good. How about we swap sides now? So now you're both legs in tabletop and the right leg straightens. And then we exhale, lower that right leg down and then lift it back up. You can take it down just as far as feels good for you. It doesn't have to be too low. The main thing is, you've got that connection at the front of the body. It's really good for abdominal and hips. Yeah, beautiful form. And then bend that knee and we put our feet down. Actually, lift them back up. We get off the roller with the legs up and then push the roller away from you until you lay down on the mat. And then push the roller to the end of your mat. You can hold on behind your legs to rock up or just roll over and hop up again. Bring the roller this way to lay back on the top. So perch on the very end, the very tip. Fingers on the floor and help yourself down. So nice to lay on the roller, chest open. Big breath out, sink down, open your chest. Then we're going to move our shoulders. So fingers up to the ceiling. We're going to do opposite circles with our arms. So let me make sure I can get this right. The right arm goes overhead while the left arm goes down by your body. Both arms circle around out to the side, and now the right arm is down by your body and the left arm overhead, and bring them both back up to the ceiling. How we go? Let's do that same side again. Right arm overhead, left arm down by your body. Both arms go wide, they circle around. Now the right arm is down by your body, left arm overhead, and bring them back up to the ceiling. Again like that. Right arm over, left arm down. Big circle. And back up to the ceiling. Last one in this way. Right arm over, left arm down. And circle around. And then back up to the ceiling. Now we go the other way. Left arm goes overhead, right arm goes down. Big wide arms circle round and back up to the ceiling. Again. And again. And just one more. That's it. And back. No problem. Good work. Hands down on the mat. Rest your arms on the floor. Your feet are close enough to you so that you can do a bridge. And you're going to tuck the pelvis. Feel your lower back just touch there on the mat, on the roller. Notice that feeling and then lift up the hips. Good. And then lay your body down back on the roller. Feel your lower back touch and then release to neutral. And again, tilt the pelvis and lift up. And rolling down. So you notice your footprint down, the abdominals working the glutes, and rolling back down. On the next couple, you add your arms if you want to. So when you lift up the hips, your fingers point up to the ceiling. And same thing, they come down with you as you go down. Right on the roller, your bones on the roller, and then down. And lifting. Reach your fingers up. Lengthen back down. Oop, forgot to bring my arms with me because I was thinking about my spine. I'll do one more and I'll connect it this time. Good work. I'm just resting there. You're going to roll over to the side and push the roller to the side. Just take a little moment to feel your back. Maybe you want to even let your legs go out long. Does that feel nice? And then when you're ready, you roll on up or roll to the side and you come up. The next one we don't need the roller for, and I'll show you first and then so you've got the right position and then you could join in. So I'm going to put my hands on the mat like in just a normal quadruped, but I'm going to take my hands as wide as the mat, so they're a bit wider. Two options. We're going to do a push-up for the front of our chest. So the elbows go wide and you can just drop your chest down and then push up. If you wanted to make it a little bit harder, you can just take the knees back a little bit, but look at my lower back. I'm going to shift the hips slightly forward and feel that rib and hip that we've been working on and hold that connection at the front so I can do a push-up like that. So choose how you want to feel like this will work. Try both ways and experiment. Okay, we're going for 6. But nice broadness. I inhale down and then I exhale, feel the front of the chest help me up. And again. Yeah, nice long line through the neck and the head. Perfect. That looks great. How about you do one more? Big breath out to push up. And then sit yourself back to rest position and give your wrists a little break and your back a little stretch. When we come forward again, we'll be back on our hands and knees in that nice quadruped position. This time the hands stay under the shoulders. And I'm going to bend my elbows next to my ribs and then push up here. So I can do that just as I am, or you can take the knees back a step, but just watch my tummy's dropping down and then I'm going to draw it up. And then I'll do 6 here. Spread out your fingers and push through each fingertip as you push back and up. Stop when you've done your 6. The breath out really helps. So it is really pushing down through the whole hand. Good. Sink back, walk back, a little stretch, rest your wrists. And then help yourself up. Roller goes that way, and then you're going to just put your calf muscles on top. We're going to spend the last 10 minutes having a really nice massage. I picked out the ones that don't feel too painful, the ones I think feel the nicest, and I'll show you different ways to do it. Okay, so we're going to massage the calf muscles. So I point both toes to one side and both to the other. If you want a little bit more, see how I lift up my hips off the mat you can do that if you want to. And then I just roll a little bit too, so I'm getting the outside and the inside of the calf muscles. If that's going okay, you could just do one. Like, you know, you could put one foot on your leg. I should unmute you all so I can really see how this is going. The more you do this kind of thing, the less it feels uncomfortable. But you don't have to do it so it hurts. You could just put your calf muscles here, go side to side, and then make sure you move those. So if you are keeping your hips down, you go low towards your ankle and then you bring it up more toward the knee, side to side. And then bring the roller up. We can do our hamstrings. Okay, so I make a fist sometimes. Actually, it's a bit tricky with a fist. You can roll here. Side to side. If you just don't feel like you can get your hips up, sit on the roller and I'll take you to the next one, okay? Because it might not be that you don't have the strength. It could be your wrist, or it could just be your arms are in different proportion, like longer or shorter, and it makes it harder to lift up the hips, that's all. Okay, and then sit on the roller. And then we're going to do the glutes. So I'm just going to lean to one side, massaging the glute. And you can, if you want to play around, you can go a little bit more towards the ground, which will get to the side of the IT band a little bit. But again, you can see if it's just do what feels good. And then get yourself back upright. And we'll go around the other way. So I'm just going to lean over to one side, one hand behind, and just go over the glute. And if you wanted to, you can really sort of lean over that way a bit more. Good, and then just roll off the roller. The roller goes on the upper back now. Here. So we're just going to roll on the upper back. Don't go past the base of the rib cage. Hands behind the back of the head. Support your head, and then we lift up the hips. And then we go up towards the neck and then down toward the lower back, or not the lower back, mid back, base of the ribs. And if it feels nice, you can go onto one side. If you find a spot that feels like it needs a little bit more massage, just stay there and just do little rolls in that spot. And then hips down, roller behind the back of the head, and hands either side of the roller. So you can have your knees bent or stretched out, whatever just feels more natural for you. And then you take your head side to side on the base of the skull. Just go slowly. And as I said, I practiced this morning and my body actually felt a lot sorer. Even the back of my head felt tender, and now each part feels better than it did this morning. So even if it does feel a little uncomfortable, like I felt this morning, it does us good and it pays off later. So if you get a sore spot on your head, hold there and then nod. See if you can breathe in and out through your nose, keeping your mouth closed but your jaw open and your teeth apart, like your jaw's soft. Maybe a little circular motion. Just circle the tip of your nose, other way. Good, and then bend your knees if they're not already bent. And then you can either roll to the side or just give yourself a little rock and gently sit up. Good. And then let's just give the hips a stretch this way. Legs out, roller goes here. Bend your knees. So we've done a lot of work on the back of the legs and glutes. So this will be a nice little stretch. I've got my knees bent up and I'm just going to tip my body forward. So it feels like my chest is sort of aiming over the roller. That's it. So you can still look at me. Your eyes are up, shoulders down. So light on, I'm not pushing down here. It's light hands. Bring it back. And again, over. And of course, if you have the range, go straight legs if you want to. Just don't force it. Good. And then roller goes on one side. Your legs just come round. I'm just going to lift up one arm, take it a little over to the side. Bring it back. And again, over. I'm not dropping my arm out really far. I'm just holding that shape there. I'm going to try one more with a breath. So inhale and breathe out here. And inhale back. And last one, round we go. So it's just over. Just find a stretch, even if it's a big long reach. And back. Our next one, we're going to do a breath pattern. Inhale here and exhale. Good. And back. And we've all finished. Good work, everyone.